So, we're going to be working towards answering the question, why was this source published in 1912? So, this is not a hard question to answer. All you have to do is use a little bit of your common sense and analyse the source. So the first thing that we should be looking at is the content of the source. So content. Content is probably the easiest one to do by far. Content is what you can see. So simply say what you can see. It really is as simple as that. So you can see that a man has returned home after a hard day's work. Even quote from the source if you have to. There's a child crying, and there's a child crying from hunger. Someone's really tired. This one here is really tired. This one's really hungry. The woman clearly hasn't done her job properly because the girls are wearing really poor condition clothes. The poster specifically says it is a suffragette's home, so you know whose home it is. And also there's a sign on the wall which says votes for women. It says she'll be back in a while. So you know that that is whose house it belongs to. So it's really simple. Just exactly say what you can see. And the next bit that we need to do is we need to comment on the source. So again, really simple. So comment. So comment is the message. And also the purpose. So the message of this source clearly is that suffragettes aren't doing their jobs properly. They're not being able to be good mothers because they're going out all day. So that is the message. Now, to be able to achieve higher marks, so to be able to reach level 3 and level 4, so we're looking at sort of 4 and 5 marks onwards, you need to look at the purpose, because looking at the purpose shows that you can do more than stock evaluation. This is something that examiners look for to show that you fully understand the source. So a purpose of the source is that the artist is looking to achieve something. So artist achieve something. So in this source, the artist is looking to criticise suffragettes and show that it has an impact on the homes. And you just need to be able to say about the purpose of the source to be able to reach those higher marks. So when you're explaining the purpose, it needs to be backed up. It needs to be linked to the message. And it also needs to be linked to what you see in the source. So the last bit is context. So this is where you show off all your CK, but please remember that it has to be relevant. So not irrelevant, but relevant. The examiner will look for relevant CK, so you know that this source was published in 1912. Therefore, you cannot talk about the Cat and Mouse Act because that would make it a relevant CK and the examiner wouldn't be able to credit you for it. So to be able to reach a higher level, so to be able to reach level 4 and be able to get more marks on this paper, you need to have a valid explanation of the purpose supported by detail from the poster and put into context. Now if you follow all of these, you've immediately done it. So you've got a valid explanation of the purpose, which would be linked to the message. So you've commented on the source and you've also said what you can see, and then related to context. So that's the part where it is put into context. So for this, you could have the suffragette campaign of Vote for Women became very militant by 1912. I know this because of the failure of the Conciliation Bill and the increase in violence after Black Friday. And then explain maybe a little bit about what Black Friday is, but you don't need to go into a lot of detail. And then you could add that at the end of 1911, widespread window smashing and hundreds of letters were burnt in post boxes. So that militant campaigning continued into 1912 with windows smashed in places like London and Manchester. You comment on what you've seen. And then, because of that, so because of the suffragettes being put into prison, a national hunger strike was called for. But that's it. If I'm honest with you, that's more than enough. You need to be making sure that all your context is relevant. So you've just said, or could say, that you know that there was increase in violence. So why would this promote the authors? So it says published by the campaign committees, National League for Opposing Women's Suffrage. So League for Opposing Women's Suffrage. So whenever you get a source, you need to be looking at and thinking about who the author is. Because if you don't, you'll probably get the wrong end of the stick and you'll get the wrong purpose and the wrong message. So now, have a go at writing this yourself. So what you need to be doing is looking and following the structure of the 3 C's. So content, comment, which is message and purpose, and then context. Lovely.